welcome to Game and Read. This week's discussion video, we are pairing together Animal Crossing New Leaf for the Nintendo 3DS and Our Town, a play by Thornton Wilder, originally released in 1938.
So, a couple weeks ago, we released our intro video. If you are interested in the background and context of both Animal Crossing New Leaf or Our Town, you can go watch that. We talk about the book and the game independent of each other, or the play and the game independent of each other.
Yes, you can see that here on our YouTube page or over on GameandRead.com.
So, today we are talking about how these two mediums pair with each other, what things they have in common, what's different, themes, all that fun stuff. So, on the basic level, they're both about small towns.
Step one, small towns.
So, Animal Crossing New Leaf, you are the mayor of a town of animals, and the game is life in your town. That you interact with your neighbors and your animals, you buy things, you fish, you hunt.
No, you don't hunt.
You don't hunt.
You catch bugs.
You catch bugs, you fish. You go sell things, you donate to the museum, you buy clothes, you live life, and you do public works projects, and that is the game. Similarly, in Our Town, it is a small town of Grover's Corners, and it just shows the inhabitants living life. You see the young love in the town, you see the newspaper kid, the drama at the church, the old preacher, the newspaper man, the doctor, doing the things that they do every day. So on that level, both of these mediums really fit nicely in this quiet, small town sort of setting. Now, something else that is pretty similar about these two that I find really interesting is that both of these have stories that aren't really stories. So what I mean by that is that the game and the play don't have a definitive beginning, middle, and end of their story or plot or anything like that.
Well, the play does have a beginning, middle, and end. However, the action of the play is more ephemeral about the town itself rather than specifically always the people.
Right.
The individuals, at least.
I qualify that. There is a beginning, middle, and end to the play. However, the contents of the game story and the play story are really about the town and daily life. There's not any, super exciting, thread that you're following all the way through. In Animal Crossing, there's no objective other than to just live and grow your town and keep your people happy. And in Our Town, the story is the people and their life.
There's no traditional story arc.
So what is really interesting about these two is that they're really challenging you to redefine story, because neither of them are traditional stories. Thornton Wilder really was pretty prolific when he wrote and staged this play because it is such a different approach to theater.
Additionally, it is a play that looks on its surface to be incredibly simple, and once you get deeper into it, or even just, watch it a couple times or read it a couple times, it does hit you in different ways where it's not just a random assortment of things in a small town. It is a veritable slice of life. It does really feel like you get a feeling for the human condition just by this small view into 10 years in one small town.
So that's just something that is it's a quiet but powerful approach that I think this play from the 1930s and this game from 2013 weirdly have a lot in common, which is very cool to see how the reconceptualizing of story continues even today.
Well, and across distinctly different media.
And across platforms, from stage play to handheld game.
Yes, so now the main aspect I would like to talk about in how these two fit together is that they both are aware of their own existence as something other than just the story going on. And by that I mean they're meta. To use, the standard term. It's a meta play in many ways. Animal Crossing is a meta game. It's fully aware that it's a video game. The play is aware that it is a play. I would say probably the primary character of our town is the stage manager, who introduces the play, plays numerous characters within the town itself, and really sets up what's going on in the town at each time, offers different insights into just being humans and living in this town and everything about it. He will call different characters at different times to just give a report. He will even communicate with the characters just as the stage manager himself, talking to them about different things. And it's a really interesting concept that, there is one person in this town played by, or many people in this town played by one person who are aware it's a play, speaking to the audience and speaking to the people within it. Now, within Animal Crossing, it's slightly different than that. You have a few characters who actively address the fact that you are in a video game. Isabelle, introduces you. She plays your assistant. She's there every time you start up the game saying, "Oh, it's been this long since you last played. Here's what's going on," as if you hadn't actually been there, because she knows how long it's been, because she knows you're playing a game. Additionally, there's the character Mr. Rossetti, who has been in every Animal Crossing game, and what he does is, when you reset the game without saving, or turn it off without saving, next time you play it, he comes and yells at you, because you shouldn't be doing that, because it's cheating.
But he doesn't save it for you. I just want to say that
there's no autosave.
I took issue with Mr. Rossetti because he yelled at me, but then didn't help me. But he is very aware that it is a game, and he was angry that I did not save.
Yeah, he'll also come and move into your town. You don't just see him on that occasion. You build him a house and he will hang out. It's really strange that he's both a warden for you playing the game, but also can become one of your citizens and just take up permanent residence there. Additionally, in many different ways with the more side characters, they will do different hints and nods at the fact that this is a weird town where you can't really leave, and just it's kind of an odd situation. They all just kind of know it is a strange existence. And I think that was just my favorite connection between these two pieces, the fact that they're both very self-aware of what they are and really good at what they are. It's a good play, it's a good game, but it's also just like, we know what we're doing here. Additionally, I did find a quote that I think accurately, a quote from our town that I think accurately describes kind of how the characters feel in Animal Crossing. They're these weird dolls that, this isn't the quote yet, I need to go grab that in a sec. They're these kind of weird dolls that kind of think for themselves, but also are just blissfully going on with whatever they like to do in the game that's pre-programmed for them, or, decided by a random number generator or whatever you want to call it. But at the same time, they're just kind of blissfully unaware of anything else that's actually going on. So we're going to cut real quick and I'm going to go grab that quote. Now, this quote I'm going to read is in the third act of the play. The third act is about death. The presumed main female protagonist type person who you follow throughout most of the play has passed away in childbirth. She was only 26, Emily, and she is just come back from reliving some of the memories of her past life that she has just expired from. And, despite the warnings from the stage manager and the other ghosts in the cemetery with her, she went and resaw her 12th birthday and just couldn't handle seeing everyone, at that age again and re-experiencing life knowing that she has come to its end. It's a very sad act, but it's really strong. And then when she comes back to the cemetery, she speaks to Mr. Stimson, who was the former organist. He has now passed away via suicide, and he has some interesting words about how he sees humans now that he is a ghost. Yes, now you know. That's what it was to be alive, to move about in a cloud of ignorance, to go up and down, trampling on feelings of those about you. To spend and waste time as though you had 1,000,000 years, to be always at the mercy of one self-centered passion or another. Now you know, that's the happy existence you wanted to go back to, ignorance and blindness. And I really like that quote for Animal Crossing because that's all the animal characters are. They have one or two defining traits, and then everything else is just kind of randomly generated. They have certain things written down for, like, they'll address you this way, but then you can pre-program in some, like, what you want your nickname to be and things like that. They just have these weird interests, and they're just stuck in this world, unaware of what's actually going to go on, whether or not they die. In Animal Crossing, nobody dies, although it would be interesting if they did. I think they should. But it's just kind of, it just felt really fitting that in this play there was this accurate description of these willfully ignorant beings just kind of milling about this town until their time is up, which I guess would be whenever you stop playing the game, and they don't know what's going to happen.
I think that the containedness of both of these really lends them to working well together. In Animal Crossing, you can go to other people's towns, but only if you know them.
Yeah,
so
you can link up and visit someone else's town, but it's a rare occurrence unless you really play with other people.
And it's not your characters, it's you. So your characters, your other animals in your town aren't leaving. It's really contained in your place.
I will add to that, it is interesting because oftentimes when they reference the outside world in our town, they will talk about kind of how they're all very pleasant with and happy with how Grover's Corners is. They don't really feel the need to go off traveling too much. It's more something you talk about rather than you actually do. And it's odd how easily that translates into Animal Crossing, where you will encounter people like, have you ever been to this random town or this place? Oh, I'd like to go, but I never will because I'm a video game character. It's strange, but it really pairs well together. So, I mean, I would say, how would you rate this pairing?
A+. Actually, A. It'd be A+ if the characters in our town were animals. But they're not. So I still think it's a really good pairing.
It'd be much more bizarre if they were. Emily walks out. She is a squirrel.
George is a giraffe.
Aw, that'd be so cute.
So what do you think about the pairing?
I think it's a really good pairing as well. This is the first time I've actually felt the need to pull out a quote because it feels like it describes the other thing. So I'm going to give it a surprising A+. I don't know if anybody who helped develop any of the Animal Crossing games ever read Our Town. I don't know how popular it is outside of America, and Animal Crossing was developed in Japan, so who knows? But I think it definitely kind of nails that consistent, these are the weird things you will think about when you're kind of in this trapped dollhouse small town.
So that's all we have for this week's discussion video. You can check out our intro video and all of our other videos, our reviews, our podcasts, everything and all of it at gameandread.com.
You can also find us on social media. We are on Twitter, Instagram, and Litzy, all at Game and Read.
Thanks for watching.
We'll see you next time.